So who is French? Who is Personne? Is that your mum, dad?
Well, you say that. I did a DNA test a while back.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
I didn't want to find out whether my parents were my parents, although, you know. But actually, the surprise of it all was that I'm 24% English from somewhere. I'm 17.8% Balkan.
Amazing. I knew there was
There
a
you
big part
go.
in you.
And the rest of it is kind of like Northern Europe, obviously. So, but that was quite interesting.
Some francophone, maybe.
Can't work out where it's come from. Think he's come from my dad's side, but obviously he's dead, so we can't know that. So my mum
was he French or?
Yeah, both are.
Okay.
Both are. My mum wants to do a DNA test because then he kind of like either rules her out or rules him in, if that makes sense. But you can't get a DNA test in France, so we have to get it here next time she's here.
And and what's the story like on the DNA testing and kind of ethics of it if the person is dead and stuff?
No, we do a DNA test on her.
Ah, okay.
So it's going to rule him out, as it were.
Ah, okay, right. So
you can't just dig them up to like, just...
You can only do it on the live person.
Go inside their cheek or something.
Okay. No, I was just thinking more of a hair sample if they didn't...
He didn't have that much hair, to be fair. So.
Okay. Okay. Well, it can be under the armpit.
It's true. It's been a while, I wouldn't want to go in there.
Okay, well, let's move on to something else. So, dating and relationships. Is there anything harder than relationships to study?
I think one other thing is that people might just see as quite trivial at times. But one of the reasons why I got into it is that when I was in the corporate world, I realised, so I was in security, so I was managing mainly men.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun relationships, yeah.
And so one of them was cheating on his wife, one's wife was cheating on him, one was dating, and either the date went well or not, his head was in his pants or was depressed because it didn't go well, and then the head is not in the job, then they make mistakes, then you've got to sack them, replace them, so it just doesn't kind of work. Okay. So that's how I kind of started without realising, because people can say all they like, you leave it at the front door when you walk through the office, they're done. If you've had an argument with your husband or your wife the night before,
you bring it in.
You're done.
It's true, yes. But what actually also, like head in the pants and stuff, you kind of gave metaphorical kind of descriptions. It's almost like their relationship itself wasn't a little bit shaken. Yeah,
and I think this was like 12, 15 years ago. I think especially then, it wasn't even like really spoken about. Personal development, especially in this country, was a very new thing. Mm. The first one I heard the word coach, I thought it was a bus. Because...
or a train, a carriage.
I genuinely did, because it wasn't a thing back then,
Oh, that's interesting, actually, because, the coach is very much
kind
of like the 21st century.
Not so much like in the States and in other countries, but definitely here, and even more so in France now.
Coach, yes. What's the word for coach in French?
I have no idea. I think they actually use the word coach.
Okay.
With the result of the election a couple of 2 days ago, I actually heard on French TV, because I put the French channel on just to find out a bit more, and they used the word ad hoc.
Ad hoc, like a random...
for the same purpose.
At least it was a silent H, yes.
Yeah. The thing I found really interesting is that when I left France, the trend was you must have 40% of French music on the radio, and you weren't allowed, obviously things like Weekend or T-shirt were acceptable because we were blended in, but anything else was not. You weren't allowed to use English words, and we've gone from that to them reporting and saying ad hoc.
Yes, which is ad hoc.
But I think it's globalisation, isn't it?
So what are the most fun relationships? So, there's so many, like different kinds of love. I mean, there's friends love, there's colleagues love, there's parent love, there's, just cousin love. There's, so many kind of spiritual. And what's the best relationship ever? What does it consist?
I think one of the issues obviously depends on personality. Mm-hmm. So everybody would have a different answer to that. Personally, I'd say cats.
That surprised me. No, you surprised me now. Okay, so what is special about relationship with cats?
So
what, they're independent? You
well,
independent?
you'd argue that a cat's supposed to be independent and fierce and all the rest of it. I seem to just attract weirdos that turn into divas. I'm more like a dog than a cat. Like you have arguments with, and yeah, but at the same time, you know, I've got the power of a fork, which means that they've got to be nice to me to get Felix.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. The relationship
you know,
with them. Yes.
the treat
Yes,
pot,
yes.
he can't open himself.
Oh, so you know, so I actually don't feel bad now showing. You know, I have 2 watches. You know, one of them is a quartz operated, so it's actually the other. Sophie asked me about it, and this is my living thing. Quartz crystal is actually, crystals are living things.
I've got to finish.
This is my best relationship. It's actually a mini Rolex with the quartz crystal. I only wear 2 watches because one needs to be with me all the time.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Do you want to hear a funny story about crystals?
Yes.
So I have a number of ailments that are orphan birth, and about 10 years ago I decided to go down the crystal route.
Okay. What's your crystal?
Well, I had 15 or 16 of them, right? Really, I needed like mountain size for it to do anything. But the funny thing about it is that they say you need to keep them close to your skin. So I used to wear them in my bra, and it was known as the rockery. Unfortunately, every now and again, you're talking to someone and one would fall out and land on the floor. And obviously, you know, I paid for these crystals, so I don't want them to just fall on the floor. I'm going to pick it up. But it was the look, especially on men's faces, like, where the fuck has that come from? And I'm like, you don't want to know, but I'll just pick it up for now. So, yeah.
15.
Crystals are...
What's the story? 15 crystals in the bra.
It was like, you know, oh, you've got another active bladder, use that one. You've got this, just use that one. And as I said...
I was just thinking it's like a push-up bra. You have
he ended up being that, but obviously the weight of it also made the bra become a bit too loose, which is what we fell out.
Loving it. So what is, in terms of relationships, what are you working on right now? You know, what is your kind of... relationship focus right now? So
my relationship focus right now is pretty much myself, because a couple of months ago, unrelated, but after someone who's a very close friend of mine and sat pretty close to me, to be fair.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Asked me
Did she like invade your space?
No, she asked me to help out for a weekend, which kind of meant like working 15-hour days to help her out. And after
that sounded like me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. Either way, unrelated to this, because obviously it'd been building up for a while, I had a bit of burnout.
Oh my gosh,
So the idea now is actually to... I'm nearly there, but you don't want to rush back in too quickly and then crash again. Yeah. So for me to do better for people, I have to take a step back, but I look at it as a bow. You don't just like throw the arrow, do you? You've got to throw it back first before you can land it.
It's kind of like a contrabody movement. You take the kind of spin in the other direction to be able to deliver the right. Yes, and but I mean, fancy that friend, you know, who told you suffered burnout. You need to kind of break into gently. Let's do 15-hour days. Yeah, that sounds like me.
Well,
serious.
Yeah, I know. But to be fair, it was good fun.
Yes,
apart from exhausting, but it was a different experience.
Yeah, we did actually. It was in Southampton. We did Britannia Open titles. She got to interview Marcus Hilton, MBE. One of the top people in the
and the thing that was quite interesting as well is that when you wrote me in, you know, talking about sexual assault earlier, weren't you?
It happens when you work in the male-dominated
and you kind of like, you know, wrote people in some way, don't you? Either way, you were throwing all these celebrity names out as if I'm supposed to know them. I had to Google every single one of them. I didn't have a clue.
But you did a brilliant interview. Actually, his PA asked me to have a copy of that, and we will actually put that in the documentary. So Sophie will be appearing in the separate episode. She did a wonderful interview, and Tony Dockman, and we've got Bianca Schreiber, Carmen Mincel. So we've got some amazing world champion dancers, and you did really, really well.
Thank you.
You did actually say there's something that kind of drew attention to that relationship itself. What would be your, just kind of as a final question, the best kind of self-love that one can do in having that positive relationship itself?
I think one of the interesting points is that I met someone earlier and we kind of had that conversation. I think that people forget that whichever relationship you have with anybody else, be it the cat, the mother, the father, the husband, or whatever, it is
the main influences in your life. Yeah,
it is a direct reflection of how you have a relationship with yourself. So you will project whatever you're feeling.
Yes.
So instead of trying to sort out the mother, the husband, the whatever, you need to kind of like look at yourself first and establish where does that actually come from? What's the root cause behind it? Is it a symptom of something deeper, or is it actually the problem?
Yes.
But a lot of people don't want to stop and self-reflect. COVID forced them to do that. A lot of people didn't want to do that and did the ostrich and buried their head in the sand.
Yes.
But self-awareness, the best way to handle life is to be self-aware and know yourself. Because if you don't, or if you ignore it, you will make wrong decisions as well.
Yes, yeah. No, that's very, very fabulous. So actually being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Being comfortable being you and embracing your own flaws, because we all have them.
Yeah, we all have them. Wonderful. I like that. Just accept them and take them for a ride. It's always nice.
Exactly.
Get them out sometimes. Wonderful. Sophie Personne, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Excellent.